Okay, so when we want to transfer or even for dressing and changing, Natasha's headrest has to move out of the way. And there is a neck on this bar which allows you to go to the lowest point and to the highest point. So it's already delineated. There is a turn dial that you would loosen off and now slide the bar up until you get to the neck, which will not allow you to go any higher. Please support this or hold the bar very tightly so that you don't just let it drop because it will damage it. So let's hold it up, anchor it in place so that it's tight. It doesn't have to be like so tight that you can never undo it again, but tight enough that it's not going to slip back down. And now it's up and out of the way. So what I'm going to do is swing her device out of the way, and that's the beauty of this arm. We're going to undo her arm so that way I can now access having her use the footrests, and I don't know if you can see those. What I'm going to do is pull her forward just by reaching under her arms. Again, for transferring, I use my knees because she can weight bear and pivot transfer, but you do need to hold her here. You can't hold her by her wrist because that's way too wobbly. Okay, that doesn't provide enough support. It's under the arms, near her armpit, and that way you've got a solid, she feels, it's more about her feeling that you've got a solid, and there's less chance that she's going to fly around. If you use your knees, just sort of bend in so that she's got something as a place for her to stand 1, 2, 3, and she can stand up. So she's standing now, and all I've got her by is here. And then we just turn, and she's now sitting on the bed, okay? And she used, if you can see, down here, her feet are still on the footrest. You can see that? That her feet are still using the footrest. Those are solid footrests on her chair. And then we're going to swing her into bed. So I'm going to now let her fall back and swing her legs in. And she's already into bed. Okay? For sleeping, she sleeps, you okay? On a contoured pillow. So you don't want it to be on the opposite side where there's no contour because that would be uncomfortable. It's a contoured pillow, and that supports her neck. Okay, we want to make sure that when she's on her side, that her hips, you might need to wiggle them a little bit, are stacked. Not like this. We want to make sure that they are stacked one on top of the other. She has one hip that is a little displaced and can cause her some discomfort. So it's important for her when she's on her side to be stacked. We usually take a very narrow pillow that is put between her knees, and then that keeps the pressure off so that her knee isn't pulling at the hip. It keeps it parallel. And that way she's got much more comfort for sleeping. It's not dragging and pulling on the hip and putting the angle of the lever of your joint down. It's parallel. Okay, less pressure. So this is how she would sleep in the evening. Okay. She may need to turn at night. Obviously, we're going to move the chair. I'm going to show you how we move the chair. Is swing the arm back in place, and now the headrest is out of the way. You can disengage with these yellow levers, okay, and they go down, and you can wheel the chair out of the way, okay. And it is now able to move. When we want to get into the commode, I will use this hospital type of step because we now don't have the step plates from her wheelchair. We would use those for her as a platform to pivot transfer. But before we do that, I'm going to show you how to turn. And for turning at night, we would do the same thing. We would take the pillow out, and we would rotate. And she can, if you put her feet flat, she can help you to lift her hips and shift and then slide. I will provide a slider sheet once Natasha becomes a resident, and then lift her back over. And we want to make sure that her pillow is not like that, but it's tucked under because there is a groove. And I don't know if I can show you that, but there is a definite groove. And that would then, you're going to play around with the pillow. Is that okay? Yes. She's saying yes. The hips, again, 1, 2, that they are stacked. And again, you can see the angle that's pulling on the hip. We're just going to tuck that in there. And now it helps her have a lot more stability. So there we go. I'll hold for a moment.